Good afternoon, everybody. This is Irene Weisman, immigration attorney. Today is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. So today I want to do a very quick discussion about tips for filing the family immigration cases, okay? Whether you're doing it yourself or you're doing it with an attorney, but these are just very good tips for you to have before you send the case out. We are approaching new administration, and here are few of my tips. Okay, so everything is done, all the forms are completed. Make sure you sign with black ink. Make sure everything is properly signed. Make sure that your application is submitted on the latest edition form. Okay, sometimes they give you, they'll come out with a new form and they'll say we'll accept the old form until such and such date. But in reality, like for example, right now, this is happening right now with Form I-485. Okay, they came out with a new form, but they did indicate that they'll accept a new form until February something. I can't remember the date. However, there have been many rejections by the service centers from all over the country stating that you did not submit the newest version of the form. Okay, so I just, even if you completed the application and you can still submit the old version, I'd probably retype it, okay, redo it, and send it on the newest version of the form. Don't leave any blank spaces. We had this policy during the first Trump administration where, for example, you have an application and half of it doesn't apply to you. Okay, good example would be I-131. Okay, because you can use this application in many different areas. It can be a re-entry permit, it can be advanced parole, it can be a refugee travel document, right? So only one portion of it really, well, the general portion and then the portion that you're applying is going to apply to you. So don't leave the other places blank. I personally usually put not applicable NA, okay? And that way nothing is left blank. All those yes or no questions, make sure they're answered, okay? With the exception of few where even there I put NA. There are some questions where if you answer the yes here, then complete the following two questions, right? Or the following one question. But if you answer the no, then those subsequent questions won't apply to you, right? And you're going to end up leaving it blank. And on the side, I just put NA, okay? That way I don't leave anything blank. Pages, make sure that your form has all the pages, just like what I literally do before I send it out. I go through each form and I make sure that all my pages are in order and that nothing is missing, okay? Because oftentimes, often enough, I see it again throughout the country with many of my colleagues. They get return packages back saying pages were missing. I've had it happen myself as well before. I know nothing was missing. I counted it. I look at my scan. I see everything is there. I know they missed it. However, just in case, you want to make sure that everything is there. Also, if you are doing this, the edition of the form change, just make sure that every page of everything you're submitting has the same edition. Okay, for example, you have a signature page, something is already signed from the previous edition, but you redid the form on the new edition. Can't do it. Everything has to be the same edition for the form. Signatures, make sure it's a wet signature. USCIS does not allow electronic signatures. They will allow a copy, and then make sure you keep the wet one. I don't play with it. I'd watch out for that. I always have my clients sign and submit that original signature to USCIS, okay? Make sure the filing location is correct, okay? That can be really confusing in reality, okay? Especially since they changed the instructions on all the forms that happened recently, because now it can send you to like many different directions. Check if you live in this state, if you're filing this application. If you're filing this application together with this, then you go here, then you send it there. If it's USPS, regular mail, or priority mail, then it goes here. If it's UPS or FedEx, then it goes there. It can get really confusing. Just please double check that you're sending it to the right place, to the right service center. Okay. Next, filing fee checks. So I always prefer to use checks either from a client's account or from my account, from my trust account. I'll explain why. When there is a delay with the receipt notices, and you see that the check was cashed, if you go to that back page of the check, you will see the receipt number for the case, okay? And you can start tracking your case that way. I just had it happen on one of my cases, okay? We submitted a case in early December, and I saw the filing fee was paid with one of my checks, one of my client account checks. I saw that they cashed it. I saw the receipt number, but we just got the receipt notice about a week ago. That took a really long time, okay? So I was like starting to get nervous, like, did they missend it? Did they not send it? What's going on? But I had the case number, and I was able to track my case, okay, because I sent the filing fee check with a personal check, and I was able to see how it was cashed, and the receipt number on the back of it. Now, the fee amounts, okay, if you're submitting, let's say, a marriage-based case, you have a lot of forms, okay, let's say you're submitting your I-130, the immigrant visa petition, the 485, the application for a green card, the travel document, the advance parole, and the employment authorization. You got to send them 4 different checks, okay? So it used to be you could send just one check for everything, not anymore. Each application will have its own, if it requires a fee, it will have its own check, okay, for its own fee. On each check, I always write up front, what is it for, the form number, the name of of the beneficiary, of the applicant, basically. And if my client has an alien number, I'll put an alien number on it as well. Okay. Now, copies. If you're whatever you're sending out, make sure you do 2 things. One is make a photocopy for yourself. B, scan everything so that you have an electronic copy. Okay, if you just want to do an electronic copy and scan everything in, make sure you back up that scan so that if your computer crashes or something like that happens, that you save it in a safe place and you have access to your submission. Okay. If you decide to retain an attorney going forward, if I don't know, something happens, whatever it may be, you want to have a photocopy of everything you have submitted to USCIS. Okay, it's just a very good practice to have. Okay, those are your quick filing tips for family-based cases. Have a great evening, everybody.